Lake Bluff 210 PI accident.
From Highland Park, Tammy, with almost 30 years as a 911 telecommunicator.
Highland Park 90, Lake County.
Got the first calls from the parade just after 10:14 on July 4th.
I don't want to live it again.
Tammy's first call.
This guy called saying his girlfriend was shot.
Her team of 3 from this room immediately called in extra resources.
Hi, it's the police department again.
Police and fire, while also giving medical advice on the phone.
And we're trying to find out exactly where you're located.
Telling those at the parade to find a safe space to shelter in place.
I took 2 deep breaths and just did what I had to do.
She says the next several hours were a blur, and with a flood of calls coming in, the overflow went to Glenview Police 911 dispatch. It's here where Jack Stopka picked up the phone.
It was probably one of the worst calls I've ever had to take. Lots of screaming, telling me people were shot, possibly dead, and it was kind of a rough call.
Jack quickly got a grasp on what was happening.
What do you got?
The hardest moment, he says, was having to break the news to his team.
I turned to them. I said, there's an active shooter at the Highland Park Parade.
For the next 16 hours, Jack says he was running on pure adrenaline.
An officer that's on shift now give you...
He didn't know exactly how many people had been hurt, but focused on supporting the responders and handling each call with care.
Sometimes you feel helpless, especially in these kind of situations. But we had people on the way, and there was lots of people coming.
Both dispatchers say they tried to be a voice of calm on the line with neighbors during some of the worst moments of their lives.
And your name?
But they say nothing could have prepared them for this.
I've been doing this quite a while, and it's never had an incident like this, and hopefully never have to have one again.
How do you recover from it? You really don't.
In the middle of a Romeoville industrial park, what looks like a multi-car pileup. Firefighter paramedic Brooke Kehoe is trying to free someone trapped in a car. No one is actually inside. The whole rescue operation is merely a simulation. A chance to safely test out some heavy equipment needed when the clock is ticking.
Practice makes perfect. You got to be able to play with them to figure out what works best for you and then different maneuvers that you can do.
Crews come from all over Illinois to study at the Romeoville Fire Academy. The state certification class prepares them for different scenarios.
For the car behind us, it's on all 4 wheels, but as the class goes on, they'll have cars on the side, cars on the roof, they'll have cars on top of each other. They can work on anything from breaking glass to cutting batteries to peel and peek, which is peeling the plastic back.
They're effectively creating a 25-vehicle graveyard to prevent you from heading to one. This crucial class is in jeopardy.
It's very fair to say that we are desperate.
Eric Drew from Fire Towing supplies all the cars for this training and others like it across the state.
We rely on the general public to be able to donate vehicles to us.
His stockpile is depleted right now. He blames the pandemic.
Nobody's traveling, nobody's buying cars, nobody's getting rid of cars.
Anyone with a clunker can get it picked up for free, along with $200 cash, a letter for a tax deduction, and the satisfaction of knowing your donation could help save a life.
Have you ever had to use these skills in a real-life scenario?
We have your adrenaline kicks in, and then you just kind of, you depend on your training.
Training that could be canceled if there are not enough donations to bust apart. Lauren Victory, CBS 2 News.
In many cases, it's as simple as a door knock, but it's helping get guns out of the hands of residents who shouldn't have them.
Aurora Police Department.
Aurora Police call them knock and talks. State police give them a list of residents who've had their FOID cards revoked or suspended, but haven't gone through the process of turning over their cards and guns.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty simple, but here in Aurora, a gun in the hands of a disgruntled manufacturing company employee resulted in the mass shooting of 5 fellow employees in 2019. 5 Aurora police officers were also injured. The shooter had his FOID card revoked 5 years prior, but still had his gun. At the time, Aurora police didn't have the money to devote to those types of compliance checks. But thanks to a grant from the state, Sergeant Thomas McGuire tells me now they do.
That money allows us to put in extra time outside of our regular duties to go out and conduct these knock and talks.
We tagged along on several compliance checks today.
Just mental health stuff.
And while there were no dramatic surrender scenes or arsenals of illegal weapons confiscated,
Aurora Police Department.
a slow day is a good day for this team.
It's not a good number.
They say they're just glad to be doing their part to make sure this doesn't happen again.
If we don't have to go through another Henry Pratt or business shooting due to something like that, I think that's a benefit to everybody.
Illinois State Police are now accepting applications from police departments for 2024. Coming up at 6, we'll take a look at just how many successful checks Aurora Police have done so far. In Aurora, Megan Hickey, CBS 2 Investigators.